Hello and welcome to Chicago This Week. I'm Kennedy Chase. Thanks for watching our brand new season. There is so much happening in the news. Former President Donald Trump was arraigned in Manhattan. The story made headlines all over the world. He pleaded not guilty to 34 felony counts. He's accused of allegedly covering up a hush money payment to a porn star before he was elected president. Here at home, there were 16 confirmed tornadoes in Illinois this week. Check out these pictures. 4 people died. One of the victims was killed when the roof at the Apollo Theater in Belvedere collapsed.
Stay with me, okay? I am not leaving you. I don't know where Brad's at. I hope he's not underneath the stage. There's Brad. Stay with me.
But the biggest local story is the election. Brandon Johnson is the new mayor of Chicago. Johnson was elected this past Tuesday in the runoff after a long campaign season against former Chicago Public Schools CEO Paul Vallis. The former Cook County Commissioner started his career as a public school teacher before he was elected commissioner for the 1st District of Cook County. Johnson promised throughout his campaign to fight for fully funded public schools, affordable housing, green jobs, and access to mental health care.
Let's take this bold, progressive movement around these United States of America. Chicago, we can show the country, we can show the world what's possible when we stand on our values as one people. We can reject the false choices that have been presented to us for so long. We don't have to choose between black, brown, white, young, old, poor, rich. We get to do it for everyone, Chicago.
My colleague Abby Buston was at the polls on Election Day. She talked to voters about what they're hoping to see from the new mayor. She's live in downtown Chicago. Hey, Abby.
Thanks, Kennedy. But you know what? More than 300,000 people mailed their ballots in early, all with the hopes of a changed Chicago. Here's what they had to say.
If you don't vote, you don't get nothing.
Chicago voters headed to the polls Tuesday for a second and final time this election season. And they made their choice. Many want the mayor-elect to tackle crime.
Public safety this year and CTA, transportation safety.
More protection, just overall, it's just so bad.
Others are more focused on the Chicagoland area's affordable housing and public school crisis.
Affordable housing is really important. In my district, there's a large homeless population because there's a lack of affordable housing.
Right now, I would just say more than anything, it's economic development. Access to that. Housing is also a big one that I think is a big important.
I guess education and just being able to bring people together, I think, is really important.
But with more than 91,000 outstanding mail-in ballots, the elections won't officially be confirmed until April 18th. From downtown Chicago, I'm Abby Buston. Chicago This Week.
Thanks, Abby. You mentioned crime, so sticking to that topic, Little Village residents are on high alert after the bodies of 2 young women were found in alleyways. Brenda Ordonez is at a meeting between police and concerned residents, and she's live now with the latest. Brenda?
Thanks, Kennedy. Little Villagers are sleeping easier after Friday evening's meeting where officers confirmed that 21-year-old Rosa Chacon and 20-year-old Reina Cristina Ical were not victims of a serial killing.
On Friday, the Little Village Community Council and Las Valientes, an organization that advocates for women, met with the commander of the 10th District to discuss the cases of 21-year-old Rosa Chacon and 20-year-old Reina Cristina Ical, 2 women who were found dead in alleyways within the community just weeks apart.
When Reina Cristina's funeral took place, they told us not to exaggerate in the case of Rosa Chacon. 3 weeks later, we found Rosa Chacon dead in an alley. So did we really exaggerate or not exaggerate enough?
During Friday's meeting, officials told community leaders that Ical and Chacon's deaths were not related.
What the officers told us is that they are ruled out as victims of femicide because the reason for their deaths were other. No violence was found on their bodies.
While these deaths continue to weigh heavy on the community, organizers say they feel a sense of comfort knowing officers in the Little Village community are working together to keep their neighborhood safe. In Little Village, I'm Brenda Ordonez, Chicago This Week.
Thanks, Brenda. Anti-Semitic hate crimes are on the rise nationwide and here in Chicago. Our Demita Menezes introduces us to a local group partnering with authorities to try to make things safer.
Every year I keep telling folks that this is the largest number of instances we have recorded.
The Anti-Defamation League's new report shows that there was a 36% increase in anti-Semitic incidents from last year.
People are waking up in the Jewish community, and people are recognizing that anti-Semitism is a threat. It is growing. It's not just something that they're seeing on the nightly news, but oftentimes they're seeing in their community.
The ADL says that hate crimes overall have seen an increase and not specific to the Jewish community.
When there's this sense of instability, and there's a sense that people have that society is falling apart. So usually the first, if not one of the first groups that is blamed when society is going through various ills are Jews.
Chaim Nadich founded Magen Chicago 7 years ago because he noticed that his community just didn't feel safe.
We do Krav Maga separate Krav Maga for men and women.
Magen works to provide security services and workshops to support the Jewish community in the city. They have partnered with Chicago police officers in the past to share information and coordinate responses to potential threats or incidents in the neighborhoods.
Knowledge is power, so we want to empower our people. Stops bleeding. You don't have to live in fear.
With the rise in anti-Semitism,
but you don't want to live with your head in the sand either.
Nadich is recommending every Jewish member to support the organization and engage in safety seminars. I'm Demita Menezes, Chicago This Week.
Switching gears now, it's April. Spring is officially here. Temperatures are on the rise, and that means farmers markets are back in the city. Mia Bearden stopped by one in Lincoln Park. Hi, Mia.
Hi, Kennedy. I went to the reopening of the Green City Farmers Market. I had a chance to speak to vendors and customers on bringing sustainable ingredients to this community. Jess? Gail Voss is a vendor that presents a food item that one might not expect.
Started the grilled cheese business 12 years ago. I was working I was doing bookkeeping out of my home, and one of my clients was a cow veterinarian. And he started a cheese company. I was out here selling the cheese, and I thought I should be making grilled cheese. I love everybody. I know the majority of them are concerned about where their food's coming from.
A couple of shoppers expressed what they like about the market.
So I got 2 different types of pickles. I got bread and butter pickles, as well as spicy pickles, and then some nacho cheese and pickled asparagus. It's very unique. It's stuff that you can't find at a store.
It's kind of a nice area of community. It's kind of getting out early in the morning on a Saturday morning, getting some fresh air, some nature, and supporting some farmers, and really knowing where your produce is coming from.
Family-owned Smith's Farms has been in the business for over 30 years.
The impact that we hope to have on this community is obviously bringing fresh produce that's good, that people know where it comes from, know how it's grown, different ways of getting food into people's hands.
The market will be open Saturday from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. The outdoor season will run through November 18th in Lincoln Park. Mia Bearden, Chicago This Week.
Thanks, Mia. Great to see all that locally grown healthy food. The Pilsen Food Pantry makes it their mission to also provide healthy, fresh food to residents in need. They've been doing it for years, and now the charity is moving. Our Hayes Owens got a peek inside their new location.
On the corner of 21st and Ashland, the Pilsen Food Pantry opened its doors with treats and sweets to give residents and volunteers an inside scoop as they build their new home.
Yeah, we're really excited to take the plunge and be homeowners at 2124 South Ashland. It means that we're going to be able to solidify, expand, sustain our services while also not leaving any of our clients behind.
Staff say transportation was a major concern in search of the perfect location.
Parking was a big issue at our current location.
So for folks that are more transportation burdened, it's going to be an easier location to access.
They stress the importance of continuing to volunteer.
So we send them to our website. There are volunteer opportunities at the current location, as well as smaller projects opening up here at the new location.
The Pilsen Food Pantry will continue to run at the Troop Street location until they open its doors in June.
What started out as a small program to fight food insecurity has turned into something much greater. From downtown Chicago, I'm Hayes Owens, Chicago This Week.
Don't go anywhere. Coming up after the break, we've got entertainment news. We go inside the C2E2 convention.
It's so much easier to talk about your feelings when it's someone else's feelings.
And we've got a roundup of the NCAA basketball tournaments.
Gives it up. Sonogo. Look at him making some moves here. Oh, and he scores again.
Plus, a Park District sport geared towards veterans. So stick around.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
Cheer you all to go. Go you Northwestern, fight for the sweet victory, for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
At Northwestern University, we are pioneering innovation and achieving excellence across every imaginable discipline. Western University, the possibilities are endless.
Hi, I'm Jessica Christopher here with some entertainment news. I got to meet some real-life superheroes at the Midwest's largest pop culture convention. They tell me their struggles are not so different from our own. Take a look.
Fans flooded the halls at the McCormick Place for the sold-out C2E2 Expo this Saturday. Dressed in cosplay, attendees bonded over their favorite fandoms. For one group of panelists, these characters' stories connect to something greater: mental health.
Even these heroes have stuff to deal with when they take this costume off and go home.
I think there should always be more of an emphasis on acknowledging what people see and react to, because what these all really are human stories with costume dramas.
And panel attendees agree.
When you find out why somebody really resonates with a story, you learn so much about them.
Co-hosts of the podcast Popcorn Psychology, Ben, Hannah, and Brittany look at these stories through a new lens.
Doing the podcast has really helped me flex this muscle and really connect to different ways that I can talk about mental health. So when I have a young person who comes in and I mention Stranger Things and their eyes light up, and then I'm like, great, because I know a bunch about Stranger Things. And also just because, again, it's so much easier to talk about your feelings when it's someone else's feelings.
In Chicago, I'm Jessica Christopher, Chicago This Week.
A Chicago theater has been showcasing new and emerging bands for decades. This year, they're celebrating a big birthday. Lena Folk is live with that story. Hi, Lena.
Hi, Jessica. This weekend, Metro Theater celebrated its 40th anniversary. To kick off the celebration, they hosted punk rock band Rise Against, and fans came from all over the country. Check it out.
Around the corner from Wrigley Field, music fans have been waiting outside the Metro Theater to see Rise Against, a Chicago rock band playing for 3 nights to celebrate the venue's 40th anniversary.
These kind of bands really foster like a really cool community. I come here probably once every 2-3 months to catch some shows.
I've never heard about the Metro, but I'm very anxious because I know there's a lot of history behind this place.
My favorite thing about this venue, they get bands that you would never believe playing in a venue this small.
We like to catch bands on the way up. We like to catch them on the way back. And we like to catch them when they're at the tippity top and just wanting to play for 1,100 people instead of 11,000 people. That kind of ethos has stayed in the building for 40 years. This is a space that has evolved along with music.
I go to probably about 20-25 different venues. You know, this is by far my favorite one.
We look forward to just like seeing people excited when they come in and being even more excited when they leave. And we don't see that stopping anytime soon.
Hi, I'm Max Olson, and this is Chicago This Week Sports. We kick things off with baseball and the Cubs. The MLB season is underway with new rules aimed at making the game faster. Elena Sklar was at the season opener in Wrigley. How was it, Elena?
Thanks, Max. It was great. Baseball season is officially back, and Wrigleyville was buzzing this weekend.
The Chicago Cubs kicked off the 2023 season with a 4-0 win over the Milwaukee Brewers, and fans were out in full force.
Great day for some baseball. Weather's starting to look better. You got to support, the true blue, Chicago. Have some pride in our city. Go Cubs.
With the sun shining and plenty of jerseys on display, fans took in the start of the new season with photos with mascots and friends. There are even activities available for people of all ages to enjoy.
It's baseball weather, so I came down to the game. In 1983, I think was my first game. It's like a lifelong pursuit. I was at Game 7 of the World Series in 2016, if that gives you any idea of my commitment to this team.
The Cubs finished the first series with 1 win and 2 losses against the Brewers. They head to Cincinnati for the next series before returning home to play the Rangers.
From professional baseball to professional soccer, the Chicago FC Fire is a few games into the 2023 season. I was at this week's match against DC United and talked to fans. The Chicago Fire are 5 games into the 2023 MLS season with a record of 1 win, 3 draws, and 1 loss, but fans are optimistic about what this season will bring.
Well, I think with any team in any sport, you just look for continuous improvement. Hopefully they gel more together as they play longer, and just overall, just looking for an overall continuous improvement.
I just think they have to continue to develop better players. They have at least 10 homegrown players on the roster right now. They have to continue to bring in good talent and continue to bring consistency and winning. And I think that you will see those championship trophies like we did in the early years of the franchise.
They're ranked number 2 in the nation, and they keep winning. I'm talking Northwestern women's lacrosse. John Riker has been following this team all season. John, the Wildcats are on a winning streak, to say the least, right?
That's right, Max. Northwestern lacrosse has established itself as a dynasty with 7 titles in 8 years, but haven't been back to the title game since 2012. This year, they're hoping to change that.
Lacrosse fans just can't look away from the Lake Show. Since losing their season opener, number 2 Northwestern won 10 straight games before playing number 18 Penn State on March 30th. The Wildcats showcased their grand teamwork in a 19-9 win.
We communicate offense to defense to draw controls. We really have each other's back all on the field.
The 5th goal of the season, Northwestern goal!
Northwestern made it all the way to the Final Four last season and is going for the title again this spring. Its dangerous offense lived up to its reputation against the Nittany Lions early on. Star attacker Izzy Skane missed all of last season, but has returned to form and leads the nation in goals by 15.
Just doing all the little things to share the ball and, just really find ways to make things happen.
Penn State fought back to cut the halftime deficit to 2, but the Wildcats tightened their defense and piled it on offensively.
Northwestern goal!
I'm really proud. It wasn't pretty. pretty, but we fought.
We get one of the toughest schedules around, so I think that experience just really helps us going into the
Reporting from Evanston, John Riker, Chicago This Week.
NCAA champions were crowned in both men's and women's basketball this week. LSU brought home their program's first ever March Madness title for the women, and UConn takes it for the men. Ayana Bronner watched these games closely and has all the takeaways. Ayana, let's start with the women.
Well, as you know, Max, LSU got to take home its first ring in program history. Jasmine Carson led the team in points. Carson scored 22 against the Hawkeyes. Angel Reese was named the most outstanding player. And despite Caitlin Clark's scoring run surpassing any men's or women's March Madness tournament tally, she was no match for the Lady Tigers. Take a look at Angel Reese's reaction after winning.
What y'all gonna say now? Okay. Pick up.
Ayana, when it comes to the men, UConn just dominated throughout. Did you know they're the first team in tournament history to win 6 games by 13 or more points?
I did, Max. They were amazing to watch, especially with powerhouse players like Adama Sanago. He was also named the most outstanding player. He definitely helped the Huskies win their 5th championship in program history. They topped San Diego State 76-59, and UConn dominated both sides of the ball, but the Aztecs were only able to dominate inside of the paint. It was quite a run for San Diego State, and senior Adam Seiko, the most winningest player in Aztec history, left the court with a full heart.
We made the city proud, we made history. Something that's never happened in San Diego. They shut down the streets, shutting down the bars, every place. So, we had a great support system. We're sad right now, but what we've done is historic.
It was definitely a historic season for San Diego State. It's the furthest they've come ever in an NCAA tournament. Thanks, Ayana. Now, moving on to a different sport in a different generation, the Chicago Park District has a league where all the participants are former members of the armed forces. Raylan Lee is live with that story. Hi, Raylan.
Hi, Max. The Chicago Park District hosts hundreds of events all year long, but this past Saturday was geared towards veterans to break a sweat and maybe win a trophy. The Chicago Park District hosted its first Veterans Pickleball Tournament Saturday at Fosco Park, thanks to expanding numbers and their overall goal to serve veterans with recreational opportunities.
For about a year, I kind of had 4 or 5 veteran participants, but in the last year, our program has really started to boom, and we have about 20 veterans here today competing. I would say about 15 of those veterans are regular in our pickleball program, and about 5 are totally new.
The tournament featured 4 different categories, ranging from novice division to advanced intermediate.
It started out to be a senior citizen sport, so I heard. So now it's evolved over the years, and I'm glad that the Park District is growing with this evolution.
I think that's really important to have a resource for the veterans so that we can stay active, we can stay mobile, we can stay relevant.
They not only want to serve veterans, but the community that serves them. From Fosco Park, I'm Raylan Lee, Chicago This Week.
Stay tuned. Up next, our special segment, Living Local with Julia O'Leary. Got it! Plus, Ben & Jerry's brings back an old tradition. You won't want to miss it, so stay with us.
I'm glad they're bringing it back.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Really? Buzz, what's up, man? You left some leaves burning out here.
Yeah, I just came in just for a second.
Come on, man. If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. You could torch the whole neighborhood.
It's a good point there, Smokey.
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Starbucks has announced a new line of drinks. This special Valentine's Day event will be going on all day long, but don't pause because animals are running out these doors. From Medill Report. Hi, I'm Julia O'Leary, and this is Living Local. Each week, I'll share a story about people and organizations making a difference in the community. Easter is right around the corner, and I stopped by a massive egg hunt. More than 2,000 kids were able to participate, and it was all free. Take a look. It may not be springtime in Chicago just yet, but that didn't stop New City from hosting their 3rd annual Easter egg hunt on Saturday.
So we're standing currently in our egg hunt space. The theme this year is New City and the Chocolate Factory, where we are expecting upwards of 2,300 kiddos and families to come enjoy a fun-filled day of just some good spring, much-needed spring fun.
Inspired by Willy Wonka's Candy Wonderland, this egg sighting event is for the whole family. And the best part?
This is all free. This is really something that New City enjoys doing for the community. And to be a part of that community thread, we want to make sure that everyone is able to come, so it is free for the community.
There are balloon artists, face painters, photo stations, vendors from New City, and more than 20,000 eggs for the egg hunt.
We're so happy that we get to host people to come in and just add some smiling faces to the community with all the dark times that we've experienced, just adding some light and fun.
For Chicago This Week in Lincoln Park, I'm Julia O'Leary.
Well, if you like ice cream like most people, then you were in luck this week at Ben & Jerry's stores. A long-standing tradition to treat customers is back. Ophelia Dang has that report. Hi, Ophelia.
Hi, Kennedy. Free Cone Day is officially back. Stores were overflowing earlier this week. Everyone wants a free scoop.
Lines are long at Ben & Jerry's. It's Free Cone Day. The tradition is finally back after a 4-year pause.
We have not had Free Cone Day since COVID, so it's the first time that we're actually coming back. The idea is people can come in and choose any flavor they want. They can get in line as many times as they want.
Free Cone Day has been Ben & Jerry's tradition since the opening of its first store.
Something that we've continued now over 40 years.
Store manager at Navy Pier location says they are prepared for busy traffic.
This year we've been a little bit busier than any other year before, but we are excited and I hope people are excited with it.
Store manager says people have been lining up to get free ice cream all day long.
I'm glad they're bringing it back. It's very good for people.
Chicago Ben & Jerry's stores also partner up with local charities on Free Cone Day to give back to the community. I'm Ophelia Dang, Chicago This Week.
That is all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great week.